Nathaniel Bandy. Striving for originality.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Predicting Splatoon series. Today, we're going to talk about brand new map ideas and what futures they could have. Now, up to this point in time of making this video, Splatoon has 16 maps, and I expect the sequel to have around the same amount and maybe even a few more than that. Now, before we get started, I just want to say that I'd like to see the maps be a little more colorful. It seems like most of the maps stuck with one basic color. The color palette on most of the buildings are either white or gray. Now, of course, I understand why they did this. It makes the ink pop out a lot more. But again, look at a map like Mahi Mahi Resort. That map is so colorful. So, just as a small favor, I think it would be nice to see a little more color implemented into the maps. Now, what if there was a stage that was based off of a forest? Now, I know Camp Triggerfish is kind of like this, but here's my thinking. What if you could ink up some trees and then squid up these same trees, and at the top, you get to some tree houses? It'd be cool if you could jump from tree to tree or from tree house to tree house. I think some of these trees should have some really thick branches that you can just hang out on. Now, this might sound a little out there, but what if there were some trees that were hollow inside and you could actually squid to the bottom and go through the roots of the trees? And through the roots of the trees, there's a little underground section which allows you to travel from the map in a more stealthy manner. Now, what if there's a map that's a big house? Now, if the furniture's really big, it'd be a great hiding spot, and maybe you can even ink a fireplace, and if you do that, the fireplace will turn on, but instead of spewing fire, it will spew the ink all over the place that you shot in there. And maybe the house could be floating in the air too, and I'll explain why in a second. I also think it'd be really cool that if you shot the windows inside this house, it would cause them to spin around. Now, while the windows are spinning, you can go into Squid and jump through the windows and have access to the outside of the house. Now, since it's floating, instead of just falling, maybe you'd fall into like a garden or something that's surrounding it. And from the outside of the house, maybe you could shoot the outside of the walls, and from there you can access other windows. Now, this could make for some fantastic stealth gameplay options, but at the same time, if you're playing on a game mode like Turf Wars, it really wouldn't benefit you that much, since spraying the walls just doesn't count as points. What if there was a Splatoon map based on a four-way intersection? The main gimmick is that there's a group of cars that will occasionally cross the road whenever you're playing. Now, maybe you could shoot these cars with your ink, and if you shoot them enough, then they'll start driving ink behind in your color from wherever they're going. Now, this could be really unfair, but again, it's just an idea, and I'm sure there would be a way to balance this kind of gimmick out. For balancing this sort of thing, well, maybe you have to shoot a lot of ink at the car, so it would be a really big risk or reward. Now, what if there was a map that was based around a grocery store? There could be plenty of aisles with food items on them that you could spray in ink. And here's what could make this map interesting. Maybe if you fill a whole aisle with your colored ink, you can actually knock over this aisle of food and just watch food go spraying all over the place. And since your ink is covered in this food, that means your ink is going to go all over the place. This could lead to some really interesting scenarios, and who knows, it could make for an interesting map. I'd also love to see a map that's completely remodeled after Delfino Plaza in Super Mario Sunshine. The way that hub world is designed is just perfect for a Splatoon map. Now, that section with the river could be filled with sponges that you could shoot to get from one side to the other safely. Now, of course, Delfino Plaza does have some islands surrounding it, and whether or not we should be able to access those is kind of a question, but I honestly think those should just be left out of the map. It should just be the main section that we fight on. And speaking of Mario, how about a Splatoon map that's completely based off of the outside of Princess Peach's castle in Super Mario 64? Now, maybe to get some easy access to the roof of the castle, there could be some wires that lead up to it. These wires could work the exact same way as they normally do in the single player of the first Splatoon. Now, maybe just for this map specifically, everyone can access Yoshi. The biggest obstacle would of course be the water that's surrounding the castle. Maybe there could be a few sponges hovering above it so that you could save yourself if you fall off the roof of the castle. But of course, maybe that could be the big challenge of the map. Now, what if there was a map that was based on a rock concert? Now, I think this map should be relatively small, since most rock concerts are pretty open, so I don't think people should be able to easily run away. Now, perhaps you could squid yourself up the lights on stage, and the stairs surrounding the concert should have several levels. Now, I can't really think of any gimmicks that this stage could offer. Maybe it should just be something that's clean and simple. So that's about all the ideas that I have for new maps. If you have any other ideas, then please feel free to leave a comment below and talk to us about it. Also, don't forget to like or dislike this video. Whatever you choose to do works with me. And of course, hop on the bandwagon and follow my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Tumblr. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next time as we'll discuss new ideas for weapons.